Hi, I'm CA Athena Rebello, a subject matter expert for GST at ClearTax. In this video, we will discuss the amendments that will be applicable from the 1st of February 2019. So let us start by discussing the changes to the provisions of input tax credit. Previously, the set-off of credit involved the set-off of CGST credit against CGST payable and SGST credit against SGST payable, with IGST credit being set off only post-utilization of the above. However, henceforth, irrespective of the type of tax payable, the general rule would be to set off IGST credit first and then followed by the utilization of the concerned input tax credit under CGST or SGST. For example, if CGST needs to be paid, even if CGST credit is available, IGST credit will have to be utilized first, and only after which can CGST credit be used for making payment. The same would also apply to SGST as well. However, in the case of IGST, there have been no changes made. There are a few amendments made with regard to ineligible input tax credit. A new provision has been added in regard to motor vehicles for the transport of passengers having approved seating capacity of less than 13 persons, including the driver, has been now included. The rest of the clause remains the same. Further, there is a new clause AA included, where the credit of vessels and aircrafts will be ineligible unless as used for the transportation of goods or passengers, for imparting training in navigating of vessels or in flying of aircrafts, or for the further supply of such vessels or aircrafts. The rest of the clauses remain the same, however modified to include the new provisions in Clause A and AA. To know more about ineligible input tax credit, you can click on the link at the side. Next, with regard to credit and debit notes, now registered persons can issue a consolidated credit or debit note with regard to multiple invoices within the same financial year. This will save the unnecessary hassle of having to issue separate credit or debit notes with regard to each invoice, as was done in the past. Now, there is a new provision included with respect to suspension of registration. So while proceedings are pending with regard to cancellation of registration, the proper officer can now temporarily suspend the registration for such time period as may be prescribed. In section 29, under the marginal heading, after the word cancellation, the words and suspension have now been included. With regard to the composition scheme, the threshold limit has now been raised from 1 crore to 1.5 crores. While this is great news for taxpayers, what is even better news is that composition taxpayers can now supply services for a value not exceeding 10% of turnover in the preceding financial year, or Rs 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. The government has now specified a class of registered persons who, in respect of the supply of specified class of goods and services or both, will now be liable to pay tax if the same has been purchased from unregistered dealers. The list for the same is yet to be notified. With regard to job work procedure, Section 143 has now been amended to empower the Commissioner to extend the time limit for the return of capital goods and inputs sent on job work basis for a period of 1 year or 2 years respectively. Henceforth, multiple registrations can be obtained in the same state. Persons having multiple places of business in the same state can now obtain separate registrations for each place of business, as well as a person having an SEZ unit located in a state can now obtain a separate registration for that SEZ unit, which will be distinct from his other places of business in that state. With regard to e-commerce operators, now e-commerce operators who are liable to collect tax at source will have to mandatorily get registered as against every e-commerce operator as was in the past. The threshold limit has been increased in special states. Section 22 has now been amended to increase the threshold turnover in special category states such as Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim and Meghalaya from rupees 10 lakhs to rupees 20 lakhs respectively. So here we come to the end of our session. Thank you for being a part of it, and I hope it was useful. For any queries, you can write to us at the ClearTax GST support, or you can place comments below as well. We will be happy to help you. Please do like and share this video. For more videos on ClearTax GST, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.